of you? Or just...
Hey, welcome once again in another Saturday. We're here with Mr. Ken, with Miss Krystle Hermis, and me, Jesus Ortiz, on the support. I always get it wrong, dude.
Small Business Support Network.
I don't know why it's in my mind. I
It's
get it wrong
okay.
every time.
As long as you have to support a small business somewhere.
It'll happen.
It's right here. I don't know why it does that.
Yeah, it's on the logo. So we're going to have a website up soon, so it'll be easier for you to find our content. But it is a small business support network. So we do what we say, which is we support small businesses. And we're a network of individual business owners and marketing experts and podcast creators and lawyers and everybody all together to help you, the small business owner.
I love that.
Yep, and I'm thankful we got another episode with another small business owner from Katy, and it's Miss Krystle Hermis. This is one of my closest friends, even though I haven't even known your story, but we'll know it today. But this is the good thing because she wanted to know my story. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like from all of us, that we care about others. We think about others first than ourselves, and that's the best thing because you're helping each other out and moving ahead. And how can I help you? Well, I know somebody that I can refer you instead of, getting to like, hey, this and that. And that's how she was. And now we have it here. And now I'm excited for y'all to meet her, for y'all to know a little bit more about her life and her business also.
Well, I'm excited too because I just met her for the first time. I've been communicating on direct message about some stuff, but I'm interested to find out more about her. And what Jesus said is correct, that in the world of business, you don't want to just, hey, here's what I can do for you. You need to find out, what do you need me to do for you? How can I help you? How can I introduce you to someone that can help you, even if it's not me? Not
only that, but a genuine relationship between people and knowing what their company actually does can help you refer them in so many more ways than just having hey, I know Ken does marketing. Well, if you know what type of marketing Ken does, then you can refer him in the correct way to the right people.
That's exactly right. And so that's a good way to start. So go ahead.
Sorry.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, your business, as much as you want. Okay. And then we'll kind of go further.
Okay, so Katy Maids was started years ago by me being a single mom of two, and I had a daughter in softball and a daughter in competitive cheer, and I worked for a law firm full time, and I just didn't have the extra means to really make it. Being divorced, money just obviously wasn't pouring in my way, and so I started cleaning houses on the side, and one house to two houses, and it just, people started referring me to their neighbors or their friends, and
so apparently you did a pretty good job then.
I apparently I did,
and which is good. So that's the first key, is do a good job, right? So people refer you. That's rule number one.
Absolutely. And so I think for me, being a mom and having a task list every day, you have all these things that you have to do. You have to wake up, you have to get the kids ready, you have to do breakfast, you've got to make sure they have backpacks, you've got to work, you've got to come home, you have to do dinner, and you can't forget to clean your house or to pick it up. Right? Especially when you have smaller kids.
That's what kids are for?
Kids are for, right?
Sorry, that's what I use my kids.
Right. And so when you tell a kid to put something away, 9 times out of 10, they don't put it in the right place, and you end up redoing it anyways. And so I really got a sense of satisfaction knowing that I was going into people's homes and helping other moms that worked just like I did, and kind of taking something off of their plate and taking a task off their task list.
So I'm assuming this wasn't a passion, but you kind of seemed passionate about it though.
I think the passion behind it just came. I knew I was overwhelmed as a mom, and if I could help other people not be overwhelmed and help in that way. And what I noticed, it was a need. It was a need that I didn't even realize that was there, and it was my own need. And so I just started cleaning houses more and more. But when you're starting a business and you have no business background, or you've never owned a business before, you really don't know what to do. And so you do all those wrong things, like ordering or going to the store and buying all your cleaners over the counter, right? Or not having a website because you don't even know that that's important, or not getting business cards because you just give out a cell phone number.
Or you print them out of Office Max and they're both like,
right,
here's
and
my
you write on it,
perforate them.
And
here you go.
Not the most professional way, but I just knew that I was going to do it. And if I was going to do it, I had to do it. I was in a relationship at the time, and I remember him saying to me, if you're going to do it, just go all in. And I was like, you're right. I just need to go all in. And that's exactly what I did. I quit my job and I just went all in. And I started
with two kids. Congrats. High five.
Congrats. That's a high five because a lot
Are you
of
still
people
with
do that?
No, I'm not still with him.
I'm sorry. Well, sorry about that. Didn't know about that.
But
he gave you something valuable.
Yeah,
That's
something
good.
valuable. And, you learn something from everyone you meet, right? And so
I love that.
as you're getting bigger, then you realize that you're answering the phone and you're scheduling appointments while you're cleaning an oven, right? And you're not giving the best customer service that you really want to give.
You're like, hold on.
Can you hang on 1 second? I'm in the middle of this bathtub, And what I really loved is the people, my customers that started with me are still with me and have seen me grow. And they're so appreciative of just like where we've gone.
I feel proud of. How long has it been?
So I technically started it in 2018, but I didn't actually LLC it until 2019.
But you were scrubbing in 2018.
2018, I was scrubbing. 2017, I was scrubbing. But I didn't start hiring people until 2018. So I was about a year.
Business.
Yeah. So I was about a year doing it on my own. And I realized I just couldn't do it on my own anymore. And I think everyone's, when you own a small business and you're just starting out, everyone goes into it where you can do everything.
Of course.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
There's no other way to do it, right? And so I just finally, as it was going, I realized I couldn't do everything. I can't clean and set appointments and go get inventory and wash towels and
take care of your 2 kids, by the way.
Yeah, and be a mom
cook and clean your own house.
All those fun things, that you're supposed to do. And so I actually, I had a friend that introduced me to Christina Skog, who I think is just an amazing person, all in all.
We'll have to have her on apparently.
She
is. Okay, good.
Yeah, she's an incredible person. And when I met her, she was really as driven as I was. And it was kind of nice to have like-minded people around you. And she introduced me to B&I. And so I went to B&I Katy. And the very first thing I received from my very first meeting was a business, people, because in B&Is, everyone owns a business or they're a representative of a business, and they've been successful, and so walking in, I was extremely intimidated. But the first book they gave me was the entrepreneur, the E-Myth book, the Entrepreneur Myth. I read this book and I'm yes, this is where I'm at. I'm in the infancy of my business. I can't get my business to go any further. What do I do? How do I make it bigger? How do I,
how do you scale? How do you create a business? I think what you're 100% correct that anyone who starts a business says, I can do this, one, because I have to, because I can't hire anyone.
Right.
And 2, you get to a point that you only have so much time in the day, so much time in your life, and your business will stagnate.
Yes.
It'll stalemate, and then eventually actually starts going down because you never took the leap of faith and said, listen, I've got to invest. Here's my money I'm making. I got to take some of it and hire one person.
Right.
To do something.
And it's also the mindset. So if you go into it saying you don't want to spend that little bit of money to bring somebody on to help you to expand, you're really capping yourself off, and you can't you can't go
It's
further.
the whole 10. You can't ever 10x or kind of grow unless you actually say, listen, I'm going to take part of my quote unquote profits, which is really no profits in small business for a while, just, but take some of that money and say, I've got to hire someone because that person is going to help me. If nothing else, it's going to give you the mental break that you need to say, okay, I can decompress for 10 minutes today. And that's very important to grow. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Just from there, I learned that you have to set expectations. Something I had never even set for myself going into it.
Business plan type stuff.
Yeah. And it was like, okay, so where do I really want to see this going? And so I just told myself I was going to do it. If you're going to do it, just keep going. So I immediately went and I DBA'd Pearland Maids, Houston Maids, Fulshire Maids, Cypress Maids, and Woodlands.
So you already had your,
I'm
going to grow no matter what.
I was sitting at my desk in my house. It was 11 p.m. I had just finished the schedule. I was so tired. I knew I had to get up the next day and clean. And at this point, my schedules were on a dry erase board, and I had like 4 of them that I rotated. To where now it's in a CRM and it looks, way better. And so I said to myself that night, what are you going to do? What's your goal? Where are you going from here? Like, is it just this? Are you just cleaning houses? Like, what are you doing with this? And I just had to have that real conversation with myself. And I just told myself, if I really want to leave something to my kids, and if leaving a legacy is if that's my purpose, if that's why I'm doing this, then I need to figure out, and I really need to study other cleaning companies around me. And so I immediately stayed up that night even longer, where I should have went to bed, and I researched other cleaning companies around me. I started calling, kind of finding out what their cleaning products were, what their pricing was. You don't even know starting off that you really need to kind of like call other companies and see if your pricing is even.
And I think you're right, because I think, I've owned a couple of businesses, and I always advise, like, what should I charge? Well, it costs me this much. I want to make this much. So that's my price. Realizing, well, what's the competition doing? Oh, crud, I'm underpricing by like 80%.
Crazy.
So you don't realize how much people charge. And so that's that's a great tip. So tip number 2 is, as she just said, which research other businesses that you're going to really be your competition, because innately we all undervalue ourselves. That's the biggest part, that everyone has the self-confidence going, am I charging too much? I'm just going to charge this much because that's fair to me. Not realizing that you don't have your costs about to go up because you're about to hire someone. You need some marketing budget at some point. You need a website. You need maybe a location. So you've got to build for the future. So just because your cost is X doesn't mean you shouldn't have a couple of points in there to increase.
And
so
every small business, when you're starting off, and I made the same, bad choice, I guess you could say, but it's when you're starting, you take every customer you can, because you're so starving for customers. And when you're bidding a job, you bid the job based on what you think the customer's budget is. Yeah. And that was a huge downfall for me. I would see a family and I would be like, okay, well, if you can only afford $100, I'll just do it for $100, because you really want to do it. And you don't realize you're not even giving yourself your own worth, in those situations. And so I think if you can do the market research and you can learn what other pricing is around you, and then you can start really vetting your customers as they come in, because that's a huge thing. You don't need to take every single customer. You need to take the ones that are the right fit for you and your company.
Tip number 3, be able to say no.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what, I'm learning more. So be able to say no, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself 6 months later doing the same things for the people that are taking more of your time, and the money isn't there.
Absolutely. And then from there, I just knew that I needed to build. So then not only when you're researching other companies around you, you also need to ask yourself how your company is different from the other ones around you. Like, so for me, it was, what is Katy Maids doing, or what do we have that's different from all the other cleaning companies around us? Why would they choose me? My company? Why?
Because there's some competition in your world.
Huge. I mean, cleaning companies.
There's some big franchises out there doing it.
There's huge franchise, and if there's not a huge franchise, there's other small businesses that are trying to do the same thing. Even if they're not even a business, even if it's just a mom who's just cleaning houses, you're really competitive with the people around you. So I did that, and as that's happening, and at this point, I think I've hired a few employees, and then Let
me ask you, what was the first employee that the first position and person that you hired, and why? Why did you think that was the one that you needed?
Oh my gosh.
How much did that help you?
I still, to this day, I feel like it was God's blessing.
Amen.
I met Karina. She was my very first employee, and she just cleaned. She just got in there. She just did her job. And so the position was a cleaning position.
So you were able to duplicate yourself in that role.
Yes. So I was able to still answer phones and still know that the house is kind of being done as I'm helping clean. And then it was, when I saw this, it was like, okay, I really need to hire one more person. So then I hired one more person. And of course you make those decisions along the way where you hire friends, and you realize
that doesn't work for
you. Doesn't work. No matter how much you want it to work, and so you go through that like roller coaster of what I call.
Number 4, maybe don't hire friends.
Don't hire friends.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, or if you do, put everything in writing and have a clear expectation going into it.
I know that you may hurt your friendship eventually.
Right. And just expectations versus reality is a huge thing that people struggle with just in personal lives. So in work, you face that too.
Love it.
And so if you can set that expectation from the very beginning and have it in writing and just kind of both know going in, I didn't even know half that much about business then. So it was, just hire your friends and give them a job. And, that's what you're supposed to do.
And they're sitting there hanging out. You're like, I need you to clean that.
Yeah. Like, why are you, or calling in constantly and they think it's okay because it's, your friend's job. Right. So I hired Karina, and then I hired Savannah, and we just kind of went from there. Karina actually stayed with me all the way up until just recently, and she moved, and that was her only reason leaving. And I was like, I broke my heart. But we've had incredible people along the way who've come in. I still have lots of other people that have stayed for a while. But it is a rotating door.
Well, I think that in any business, you have to understand too. So my wife and I, we had a construction firm. She would get emotionally attached to every person that we hired. And she'd bring them food, and she'd, hey, how's your kids? And I'm like, honey, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
Because at some point they're going to show up late. You're going to wonder why they didn't show up, or they're going to walk away with something. And you're going to have to realize that you can be compassionate and empathetic and caring, but you also have to be really recognize the fact that these people, they're there to make money, and that's it. And if you ask extra stuff, because as a business owner, we do everything.
Yeah.
We'll sweep the floors, we'll put the lights, whatever it is, we'll do the books. And that's so we assume, well, everyone's like me. Everyone's going to jump in and help.
Yeah.
But people don't.
No.
So definitely be aware that you have to be a little bit, like my wife said, like me, which is, a little more rigid and strong, and also, compassionate. But when
I was cleaning in the beginning with them still, because I was still cleaning with them, because that was a very hard thing for me to let go of, was to not clean anymore.
Well, that's your, if you don't do it good, you lose it all.
Right. And so I would drive them, they would ride with me. So then I'm paying for lunches and snacks and drinks and whatever else, because
we had a big budget for snacks and stuff. I mean,
and you just don't even know but
how much money you're spending.
You set the expectation.
Well, then guess what happens? I don't bring anything. Where's my chips? Where's my Gatorade? And that's exactly what happens. We had a treasure company. We had 30 people on a crew. We would bring stuff in, and then we would run out of money eventually. Say, hey guys, you're going to be on your own. And they were like, well, where's our? And they would complain.
Yeah.
So you're right. That it's very hard when you're owning a business to not get emotion attached to the people that support you.
Right. So I think it's hard too, because employees think that you make so much money.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And that you have all this profit, and that it's almost like it's owed to them to do these things. And I think the mindset is it's just a horrible mindset. Employees clock in, they clock out. They have no idea that you're still answering the phone after 5. You're there early.
You're there 4:00 in the morning. Make sure the screws are picked up off the grill. You're there. You go to the house that they just cleaned because they missed a spot.
To reclean it, to make sure
it's good to go, because you care about the client coming back.
Right.
I think we kind of discussed before we got on the call is, as a business owner, you have to be willing to sacrifice everything, because there's going to be times that you have enough money just to pay their employees and not yourself.
Right.
So you have to be willing to say, okay, that's going to happen. I'm going to go to Mickey D's this week because I'm going to buy in bulk this week because I can't afford it. So that's part of it. If you're not willing to sacrifice yourself, then go work for someone else.
And you said something right. Look at me. I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
I had a wedding yesterday. I could have canceled everything for the weekend and be with the family today. Yes, I did it. I'm here.
I know. I drove back in from Crockett this morning.
And I've had a migraine for 3 days. So, not migraine. So, yes, we're all here because at the end of the day, it's about what can we do for each other and help. Yeah.
Well, an entrepreneurial mind is very different from someone who doesn't. So if you clock in to your 8 to 5 job, you hold one position in that job. And I think a lot of people who hear, oh, they own a business, they don't really understand that it's I am the president. I'm also the vice president. I'm also the HR. I'm also the marketing person. I'm also your inventory person and your receptionist and like your scheduler.
And the floor sweeper.
And the cleaner.
And the cleaner.
Like there's
and the bouncer sometimes.
Right,
things get rough.
There's not a one title position that you have. And it just branches out. And you do learn as you get further in business to really start passing those titles off to other people and helping mold other people to understand what this position does and why.
Well, that's what I think a lot of time is, as a marketing agency, 20% of stuff that we provide, it can be done by the business owner, but they may do it not right. It may take them forever, and they're not, and they're also, once again, if their skill set is cleaning or electrician or realtor, and they're spending their time trying to do a Facebook post every day, twice a day to make sure it's up to date, make sure the website's not falling down because something happened, trying to figure out how to do leads and get people in, they're not doing their core skill.
Right.
And it's going to hurt them in time. So I think it's the hardest part of small businesses to anyone to hire, it's easy to hire a CPA because that's something at some point you're not going to be able to do your own books. You can't just do a 1099 online and be done with it. So it's kind of like the first thing you have to do is, okay, and then attorney if necessary. But when you get to maybe a cleaner, hey, listen, I have an office, I can clean it myself. Yeah, but if you're spending an hour doing that, what could you be doing that's making your business?
So that's something I learned from JC Coronado was, do you work for your business or do you work on your business? And that was something, when I really started becoming and kind of before I even had okay, I'm going to open my second location. And now I know that I can because I'm going to work on my business, not for my business. And that's when I started really kind of putting people in place. And then you learn like you're only as strong as your crew behind you. So you're only as strong as your assistant underneath you, your CPA who does your books, your marketer who, if a business owner is always doing their marketing, they're taking from the time when they could be generating more income for their business. And I think for me, I was so scared, like, well, if I pay this person to do it, and I pay this person to do it, and I pay this person to do it, like, I'm just going to maybe run out of money, or, because your first couple of years in business, you don't really get a paycheck. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. No. They think, oh, you're the owner, you get a paycheck.
And then you're making it. And most businesses fail in 3 years. So the first 3 years, you don't make money.
Right.
Which is life. So, and then with COVID, it's impacted, that whole thing's out the window. It's just, the whole year went crazy. But you're right that if you don't put a little bit of effort in lessening the responsibilities on yourself and hiring or partnering with the right people,
right?
You're like, okay, what happened 6 months ago?
Yeah.
What did I do wrong? Well, that's when you would decide to do this instead of that.
Well, when COVID came,
tell us how you.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, I love that.
When COVID came, I immediately started asking myself all these questions. Okay, COVID's coming, businesses closing down. What are they going to need in order to stay open? What makes you essential, right? And I was like, okay, so that's what I was like, what makes you essential? And so I said, oh, you have to be COVID certified. You can be a COVID certified cleaner and stay essential and stay open. And so I started researching how to become COVID certified.
So no one just told you, hey, this is something you should do.
No.
You just kind of had to, okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of, that's the thing about being your own boss is no one's going to tell you what to do.
Right.
Unless you hire a very expensive coach to do that kind of stuff and say, hey, here's your task every day, right?
Right.
But most people, you have to be proactive. You have to be self-motivated because you have to realize, like she did, okay, something's about to shift now. Mm-hmm. Now what? So I love that.
I think I was so scared that it was about to really financially affect me in
because you're just now getting going still.
Right.
I mean, it's only been 2 years. Really.
Yeah, and so I'm like, oh goodness, no, I need to figure out what to do different, And so I started researching it, and I found out that you could become COVID certified through the AHCA, which is the American Housing Cleaning Association. Okay. And so I called all my competitors, and I used a different number.
Hey.
Sorry. And
I've got multiple websites and multiple email addresses too.
And so I did. I called all my competitors and I asked if they were COVID certified, and no one answered yes. And I said, awesome. That's it. So I immediately went into marketing myself as the only COVID certified cleaner in Katy. And we really just kicked off. Right. And
that's
so awesome. So we went from cleaning, one house a day, you'd have your one client a day, to 2 houses a day. And, I can remember in the beginning, man, if I could get 50 customers would be so cool. Right. And then after the first year, I had 50 customers. I had more. And then so the second year I was like, okay, I want 200 customers. I'm just going to set this goal really high. And I remember leaving my second year, I had 350 customers. And I was like, awesome. Okay, I got to keep going. I got to keep going, And so I did. I marketed myself being COVID certified. I just really pushed it after that. But I didn't have the business, I didn't have the accounting business, I guess you could say, or I don't even know what you would call it, to know that I was still wasting so much money on other things. I'm still buying over-the-counter cleaning products. I have no, how do you cut your costs, right? Yeah. So
go to Costco.
Right.
That's one thing.
You bulk up, you go over the counter, you buy all this stuff. And so I'm like, I really need to figure out how to cut my costs. So I started doing that. And so then I found out that, if you start buying it through a vendor, you can cut your costs down from $4, $5, $7 a bottle to sometimes 32 cents, depending upon if it's a concentrated item or not. I was like, what in the world? I had no idea. So this was, so that's great. And then as you keep going through your business, you start really kind of figuring out what your customers' needs are, what they're really looking for. Some people, they want you to come in and their main focus is windows or baseboards, and then you may have another customer. It's like, I just can't clean my floors. I don't have time to clean my floors, or maybe it's just bathrooms, whatever it may be. And so as I kind of went through business a little bit further, then I was like, okay, well, I really need to figure out, we're all using the same cleaning products now. Mm-hmm. How can Katy Maids be different from everybody, all the cleaning companies now? And then I was like, you know what? Sanitation's a big thing. Okay. So now I'm going to partner up with doTERRA, which is an essential oil line.
I saw that.
That has all just.
So, tell us more about that.
Okay.
That seems very unique because I was doing some research on you. I was like, I don't see that everywhere else.
So,
and that's a very good value.
If
point.
we want to keep our employees and we want to keep them happy, we also have to make sure that we're making sure that they're safe, right? And ingesting chemicals all day, every day, just can't be it.
I can imagine bleaching a floor would not be healthy for you.
Right. It can't be it. And I can't tell you how many customers who I've had to really kind of give them some education on particular cleaners that, I just don't mention names because that's not right.
Well, if it doesn't smell bad, it must not be working.
Right. If it smells great, it's working.
Yeah, exactly. It
No,
smells strong. Yeah.
Right. No, that's not it at all. Actually, this is a perfume cleaner, and so you have to really kind of teach them. But going in with doTERRA, as you're going through business, you become a part of networking groups and you meet really like-minded people and they really kind of push you to be better. So after BNI, I joined WGNO, KCGNO, which is Woodlands Girls Night Out, Katy Cypress Girls Night Out, right?
Very cool.
But what it is all women's networking group. It's trade exclusive, but it's sorority houses, right?
Very cool.
So as I go in and then you become a member of that, and it's like women supporting women, right? Yeah. And that's really, top right now. I met Stephanie. She was a representative for doTERRA, and she asked me, "Are you really happy with all of your cleaning products?" And I remember thinking when she asked me that no, I'm not actually. No,
it's a great question.
There's there's some things I absolutely love, and there's some things I don't love. And then she's like, "Would you be willing to try it?" So I did. I tried it out, and I remember thinking I kept searching for something that wasn't as harsh for them to ingest every day, and it was like I just had. So
the employees were like your main focus was how to make that safer for them,
right? And,
which in turn makes obviously safer.
And
for everyone else.
When you leave a customer's home and you're leaving, their children are coming in right after, or their dogs are coming in right after.
Yes.
And I have older kids and I have younger kids. I have a 13-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old daughter, and then I have twin boys that are about to be 4.
Wow.
And so.
You're still excited and look as good as you do.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
What's she doing? Follow her regimen.
Right. And so all I could think was, as we mop these floors with a very harsh chemical, and these kids are coming up, they're ingesting it, they're smelling it, they're touching it, they're on the floor, they're picking up their ball that just rolled on the floor, like all of these things. Like there has to be a better way. And so when I met Stephanie and I was like, oh, well, I like the product, but now I need to research you and I need to see if it's like really,
You're sweet.
What it is.
Hold
on. So I did.
If you're going to shift your whole business model, it's important, especially because that's a fundamental function of you.
Huge.
I mean, it's not like, oh, yeah, sure, we'll try it.
You have to make sure that it's legitimate. So I researched doTERRA and found out they really do have a really, truly organic essential oil line. So I cut my costs and chemicals even more then at that point. And so it was just, it's a recent partner. I can say that we would probably do about 10 to 20 quotes a day. We've gone up incredibly since then. When I announced it, we did 43 quotes that same day.
Wow.
And I just didn't realize how important to some customers that really is.
Well, I think that, there's a shift in every business, especially during COVID, that you had to either catch up, adjust, or you're shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And you were proactive enough to identify a couple things that you may not even know the market wanted,
right? But
you wanted, and you're a mom, you're a business owner, and so if you want it, I'm sure other people want it, and then you just prove that.
Yeah,
and that's where you make strides, and you actually shift your business to where now you're now expanding and other opportunities coming. Yeah. So now
as I've been able to kind of work less on Katy Maids, I was able to open Pearland Maids, which is, it's still in that infancy stage. So it's not as big as where I maybe want it yet, but it's getting there and I'm excited about it. After this, we're going to go to Woodlands and kind of move back in just because I know that the niche in the market's out there and I kind of want to go after it. But in each one, I still want to strive to say, how is Katy Maids different from around there? How is Pearland, and what may be really important in a Katy community may not be as important to a Pearland community, or there might be other things that are way more important to a Woodlands community.
Well, Woodlands got a lot more trees than we do, so maybe there's other things with South, other things
right. And so I have to spend the time
identifying what it is that they really need.
And so with that, I really just kind of, and I know it's God. It is God, but I feel like he just spoke to me like anything is possible. Whatever you want to do is possible. And so then I meet Michael Hapernini and Jay Coleman through the ranch office. They're opening up an office across from the boardwalk of Katy. And I'm like, boardwalk of Katy, what's in the Katy boardwalk that I feel like should be in it that's not in it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, so of course I'm talking to everyone, and you network and you meet this, more Katy people. And I kind of had a couple of shoes in, which really helped. And I said, well, I want to put an Einstein's Bagels there. I'm going to franchise an Einstein's Bagels. And I manifested it and said I was going to do it. And I'm doing it. And it was just so crazy.
This is all your skill set too. You've done this 100 times, right? So you're
no.
So once again, it's gonna be. It's God. Obviously, said, "Okay, we need Einstein Bagels." God says that,
right? That's crazy.
And and I just feel like there's not really one in Katy. There's one here, and there's not
that's
one
true.
in
There's
Katy.
not one in Katy,
right? And so I was like, bring something to Katy that's not in Katy. I love bagels. It's one of my favorite things to eat. It's a huge thing for me. So I figured this would be another challenge for me to kind of step into and see what I really like. And then I live in Jordan Ranch, like that Jordan Ranch community, and they just opened up the Texas Heritage Parkway. So I'm driving and I'm like, okay, what is here that needs to be here that doesn't happen. And I had been talking to a friend of mine that I'm very close to, and he bounces a lot of like business ideas off. We bounce a lot of business ideas off of each other, and we both said it, like a liquor store. There needs to be a liquor store. There's tons of communities that are opening right here, and there's nothing. So here I am getting my all the licensing together and putting a liquor store in Texas Heritage. And I feel like if you tell yourself I can only do this.
Yeah.
Or I don't have enough time to do this.
Or I don't have the skill, knowledge, or foundation to do something.
Right. Don't set your limit.
You're going to do it. Yeah, you're not going to do it.
Tell yourself you're going to do it. Manifest it that you're going to do it, and just do it. Do it. Make it possible. Ask people. Connect with people in your community. If this is my goal and this is my dream, do you know how I can get there? Because you may know this part, and then I can ask you, and you may know this part. And we talked about this when you were doing Kidpreneurs, and you came, and I was like, okay, we have to have a goal with this. We have to have a plan with this. We have to roll it out the right way. It has to be really, I didn't know all that when I first started. That came from meeting people in the community and really kind of having that business. But you have to kind of surround yourself with like-minded business people to mentor you and push you in that way.
So tip number 5 and 6, I think, is one, don't put limits on yourself, because if you do, you're going to limit yourself.
Right.
Be open to anything. If God says do it, whether it's liquor, bagels, or cleaning, do it, because there's a reason why for it. That's why for it. There's a reason why. Number 6, surround yourself with like-minded business people, like a small business support network.
Yes.
And find a way to find people who always at this. I find people are better at something than I am. This person's better at this. I'm going to partner with them and follow them and pick their brain, and then learn from them and go. And then maybe there's something I'm better at than they are.
Yeah.
So it's about, and you never know, because no one wears a hat saying, here's all my strengths, here's all my weaknesses, here's where I need you today. People walk through life going with everything in their head, and this person's successful, this person's, doing okay, and not knowing that everyone, especially now, has struggles that you don't know.
Right.
And just opening up and saying, hey, I need your help. That person's value is, I'm now valuable again.
Well, there's other cleaning companies in Katy who maybe aren't as big as I am. And then it's crazy because my direct competitor is J&W, but we're very good friends and we refer business to each other. And we both, and I just, my hat goes off to Tanya, because I feel like we're like the same person almost. And we always have like the same ideas, but we both kind of went into this where there's enough customers for everyone. And if you're trying to steal them all, somewhere along the way, you're going to fall.
What's karma? Well, I partner with marketing firms all the time.
Right.
Because there are some people who do really good stuff that I don't want to learn, and I'd rather just refer them, and we kind of partner together.
Yeah.
And just 4.5 million people in Houston. There's 14,000 businesses, if not more.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of business for everybody, no matter what you do. And you're right, because if you go in there with a mindset that I'm going to take it all, you're going to. I'm a big believer in karma. And I believe God's going to say, listen, if I give you something, if you take this is going to cost you at some point. So you've got to be open to willing to partner with people.
The other companies will literally come to me for advice, and they'll ask me, hey, what mop system do you use? Or what? I don't ever not share it, because I want them to be just as great. There's a girl that's coming up, and I feel like her cleaning business is really kind of taking off, Mother Scrubbers. Ashley. I'm trying to remember, Peterson, I think is her last name. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. But she's come to Tanya and I both asking, what chemicals do we use? What vacuum do you use? What mop? And I feel like if this was anyone else, they might not help her, but I want her to succeed just as much as, and so I'm like, let me help you, because maybe helping you can help someone else, and hopefully kind of keep that.
Tip number 7, don't be afraid to ask your competition for
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Because you may get 10 people saying, I'm not going to help you, but that 11th person may be the exact person that you create a relationship with that's going to help you and build your business together. Because there is a point when we had the construction company, I relied on other firms all the time. In a marketing firm, I rely on people all the time because I want my client to get the end result.
Right. And your frustration as a business owner in a construction company is going to be very different from mine in a cleaning company, which is going to be very different from yours. Right. Yeah. And so if you can have other cleaning companies that you can talk to and, like today, everyone was late. And I'm so, and if you can kind of build that up, then you're building a community of business owners in the same trait where you guys can also work together in the sense of, hey, I've really blacklisted this employee for my business, and this is what's going on. She stole from my customers.
That's true.
We had to do that a few times with our world.
And it helps.
And think about this, too, when you start thinking, imagine having a community of 5 or 6 or 7 businesses that are like together, and then creating a co-op and going to get these big opportunities.
Yeah.
That say, hey, we can't, this one business can't do it, but these 5 can.
Right.
So don't be afraid to try to do that, because you never know what could happen a year from now from that relationship that you've built. Yeah. I love your story. I love that you've giving us 7 and probably more than that valuable tips.
Sorry.
No, that's exactly what we want is to give advice to those who are sitting on their couch or hanging out and saying, you know what, I'm not happy where I'm at. I need to find another opportunity, but I don't know what to do. And I have no idea what to do. I will tell you that all of us here didn't know what to do, and we still don't know what to do sometimes. Yep. And that's why we all have to have a network and a support system of like-minded business people who have gone through it, because when you say, I think you said failures is a way to learn. Mm-hmm. So there is no true failure in anything.
Right.
You're going to fall, get back up, because you now know not to do that again.
It's your comeback.
If you never fail, you'll never know how to succeed. And there's 1,000 books and gurus that you can read, but just know that.
If you're sitting on the couch, and you're asking yourself, what do I do? First thing you do is you find your purpose. What are you really good at? Yeah. Or what do you really enjoy doing? Yeah. Because I enjoy cleaning. So it was maybe
I do not.
It maybe wasn't the thing I was the most passionate about, but it was something that I was good at, and it was something I enjoyed.
Are you a little OCD a little bit?
Maybe.
Okay,
probably.
Good. That's good.
But so I enjoyed it. So, but if you're sitting on the couch and you're asking yourself, that's to me that would be like the very first thing I would ask. What's my purpose? What am I really good at? And then if you find something that you're really good at, but you feel like it's too much competition, then how can you make what you're really good at different from your competition? And start asking yourself those questions. But don't say you can't do something. Don't manifest that into you. Manifest that you can always do something, and just keep going.
I'll mention, we had a good friend of ours, Han, that was on our show a couple weeks ago. What's the one thing that is on every corner, right? You know who. Mm-hmm. But yet she said, I don't care. I'm going to open up a coffee shop.
Yep.
No matter what, because that's something I want and I desire. So never worry about your competition as in, because they're not. They're just there to help you, and that's all they're there for you. And the real different, the thing that makes you different in any business is you. You're the only thing that's unique in your business. From you build your unique functions, your unique cleaning part, tools, the way that your checklist, the way you communicate, your follow up.
Yeah.
Everything that you do that makes you unique comes from you first, because you're the first person to have that thought, where the thought is. So just don't ever underestimate your own ability.
Right.
Ever.
And if you are a company who you've been open for a couple of years and you're really struggling to really just kind of take that next step, like, how do I get to the next step? Like, I feel like I'm just stuck. If you're stuck, it could be for multiple reasons, but I know for me, I was stuck until JC taught me about the ABCD clients. And I had no idea what that was. I said, what is that? And he said, your A clients are your really great clients that you make a ton of profit off of. Your B clients they're great clients, but you don't make that much profit. Your C clients are kind of a headache. You don't really know what to do. And maybe you're traveling a little bit further than what you would normally. He said, your D clients are always unhappy and they stress you out. And I'm like, okay, He's like, I need you to go make that list. So I did. I made the list, and I realized there was a lot more C and Ds than what I really wanted, And I would have never even known to sit down and do that. When I took out all of my D clients, and I took out the C clients that were just too far out and kind of pulled back in, and I took out the people that it just didn't logically make sense because the profit just, my profit margin just weren't there. Then I realized, okay, so now that I have this smaller list to focus on, I can build off that.
Yep.
Now I know what I'm doing wrong. Now I know where like my profits really should be, and I have to keep to this A and B list of clients. That really helped me go to the next level. And so if that's kind of where you're maybe stuck at, if you have a customer who's a complete headache, they're just not a good fit. Let them go. And that was the hardest thing for me because I really loved everybody, so you have to kind of take those steps and separate business and personal, but still have a genuine relationship with your customers, but don't have one that hinders you from profiting at the same time, because your profit isn't just money in your pocket. This pays for your office, your insurance, your website, your business card, all of those things that are so important to have, your marketing, maybe your networking groups, whatever it is, it really, really benefits. And don't think that you can build your company on your own, because it's a horrible mindset to have. You have to have, your lawyer that does your NDAs or your non-competes. You have to have your CPA who does your accounts. You have to have your marketing person. You have to have your networking groups. You have to have all those things that push you to the next level, or you're always going to stay where you're at.
Yeah.
And that was really, I wish somebody would have told me that year one, maybe things would be maybe I'd be a little bit more.
But I think you've done amazing, obviously, from what you're doing. And then also your ability to just take on other opportunities that are totally different from what you're doing is a skill and actually a mindset that most business owners do not have. And that's why a lot of them fail, because they get to a point that they're not succeeding. And so the only result is to shut down instead of maybe shifting or pivoting a little bit and saying, well, let me get a better product, or let me have a better cleaning, whatever it is that makes you different, because people do business with people they like, love, trust, period. Mm-hmm. So you've got to become that person, and not just your service or your product, but you have got to personally connect with everyone. And if you do that, then you will have a more successful, fruitful business.
Right. Obviously. And don't spend the money buying the extra equipment and things to have more services. If you have a company that you already trust and already work well with that does the same service, just partner with them.
Yeah.
Partner with them and make sure that you set up a legitimate, agreement from the very beginning of what, your referral fee or your profit or what will be off of it, but be able to kind of pass that off to another company. So it's less work for you, but you're still making money. Right. Yep. And then just kind of keep it going from there. We don't do the carpet cleaning, but I have a really great carpet company that does. We don't do the power washing or the exterior window cleaning, but I have Valiant Home Services that does, so I feel if you could kind of don't have so much control that you have to do it all.
Collaborate. Collaboration is key. And that's where the thing is, because you will never learn fast enough, acquire equipment fast enough to do it like this company can.
Right.
And if you do, it's going to be a lot of investment, a lot of time. What happens? Your core competency, your core business is going to suffer because you're now learning this, or you had to buy this equipment, so you can't do this over here. You can't grow. You couldn't hire one more person. So collaboration is something that I 100% believe in, especially in the marketing world, because I'm not an SEO expert, but I've got somebody who is, and I'm on a Facebook. I do Facebook ad campaigns, but I'm not perfect. So I've got somebody who does, and we collaborate together, ultimately giving the client the result. I handle my part, they handle their part, and the client is the one who gets,
well, during the whole COVID thing, that was a huge lesson for me. Was I really tried to do a whole lot on my own, trying to branch to give other services, and it got to the point where obviously money was very tight with the whole COVID thing, and it became very tight because I was very trusting and I didn't take payments before service. And there was a ton of people that didn't pay during that time because they were just laying off, or that I couldn't tell you how many clients that we had where we had just cleaned their house that day and they had just been laid off that day and couldn't pay for it.
Oh, wow.
And so it got down to where I couldn't even pay my employees, and it was really, really bad. And I thought there for a little bit, like, I'm going to have to shut the doors. This is it. This is, and at that point it causes mistrust between you and your employees.
Yeah.
Right. Because your employees think, oh, you just can't pay me. They don't understand the behind that. There's tons of money that is owed to you that you could if people paid it. And so I made the shift then, and I said, I'm no longer going to accept payments after service. We run your payment to confirm your service.
Yeah.
And so now that we do that, I haven't had to deal with anything since.
And that's part of stuff too, is making the decisions you think are hard, going, well, I feel bad about asking money before, but there's a reason why I do it. And what you're going to find, if they like you and you're doing a good job, they're having no problem paying.
None.
They're like, good, no problem. Because most people would do what you ask if they trust you. Once again, if they trust you, they're going to.
And we've explained it
period.
to all of. There is not a customer that is a Katy Maids customer that doesn't understand exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And a lot of them are like, Krystle, I'm so sorry that people haven't paid you. And I'm like, it's not your burden. It's fine. It's fine. I just want to make sure going forward, And so now that we've kind of, we're out of that and we're even further along, it feels really good. Like, we just gave out raises to our employees. That's literally awesome. Just last week.
I was going to tell you that I'm a Facebook stalker since I do social media too. And I saw that you actually have employee reward stuff that you do. Mm-hmm. And that's just really, really powerful because you're not a gigantic firm.
No.
You don't have all this free money you can just throw away, but you're giving some really cool stuff. And how is that impacted? Because I see the smiles on our face. How does that really impact employee morale? That little investment that you give back to them?
It's huge. Money is a big thing, especially to small families or a single mom. And if anybody understands, I do. And so I wanted to motivate them. They were really great at their job, but you're not always perfect. And cleaning homes, you don't always clean perfect. There's just not a day that it's that way, And so how do I motivate them to try to give me their best of their best and be so prideful of their work, right? How do you do it? You motivate them with money.
Yeah.
And so, then it was
a handshake's nice, but money.
Right. You're doing a great job. Isn't as cool. Or, hey, I'm going to give you a 50-cent raise or a $1 raise isn't as great as just handing them cash. Right. And so the first month I didn't tell them what I was doing. I just I let the month go through. And at the end of the month, I just made an announcement that I did a survey with all of our customers, which I did, a daily survey. These were all the reviews that I got back, and I had printed them all up with each person. And this crew received the best crews. Here's your cash. And then it was, here's my other. This crew has always been on time and is here every single day with no call outs. Here's your cash. And so, at first I was very against it because I was like, no, it is their job to be here on time.
To be on time and do their job. Yeah.
But when people start feeling unappreciative, they're very unmotivated. And that, and it came across so ugly, and I didn't even realize my failure. I didn't even realize that was how I was coming across, And so it was like, okay, check myself. How can I be a better owner, and how can I be a better boss? And when I could check myself and tell myself, okay, accountability, this is where I'm going wrong. Let me change it. We've changed it. And so now I love it because they're so competitive now.
Yeah.
And they're very, how many reviews did I get this week? How many,
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so we leave checklists when we leave. It's like just a carbon copy checklist, and it says who your lead was that day and who did each area. And there's like a note on the bottom, maybe something, whatever the client needs to know. And I've noticed that they all put, please leave a review at the bottom every time now. So
another thing about it, and the great benefit from that is not only you have happy employees, but the customer says this client, this company cares about their work because they're making this, and eventually that becomes into business.
Right.
They get more business because of that, because most people don't do those kind of things.
Right.
And then not only that, your employees become your cheerleaders.
Yeah.
They now know, hey, if I go out there and talk about Katy Maids and talk about what we do, there's going to be a benefit for me for doing that.
And there's an employee incentive to bring on other employees. And if they stay 90 days, there's that employee incentive. I'm very excited that in January we now can start moving everybody over to where they get sick days and vacation days. And that's been awesome. That's been a goal of mine for a year and a half, just to give them something more than what they had before. I cannot say that we've always had the best reviews. That's there's not a small business out there that just has raving reviews.
There's going to be somebody who always complains.
There is. But we
have a way to hide that. I'm just kidding.
No. So I have been asked why I leave up my some of my bad reviews, and I tell them because it either taught me an important lesson or it taught my employees an important lesson, and I don't want people to feel like I'm hiding it. If you see it, trust me, there was a reason behind it. A lot of people, hey, I just saw one fan wasn't cleaned right. I need my entire money back. Well, I've paid them to travel there. I've paid them to clean there. And I'm offering to send another crew out to clean the one ceiling fan that's forgotten. And to some people, that's just not a good enough response. And if you, as a small business owner, if you try to make everyone happy and just do whatever you can and whatever they're wanting in that moment, give to them, you will fail. So you have to
and
kind
so
of
that
business.
becomes your D clients once again. You're
Yeah.
and the thing about it, when you get a new client, you're actually looking at, are they going to be A, B, C, or out?
Right.
So that's part of clients and customers understand. As a business owner, we choose to do business with people that we like,
right,
and trust.
Mhm.
Because as a business owner, we get a lot more of the negativity.
Yep.
And so so as a business owner, you have to make sure you're okay with letting go and saying, hey, this is not the great fit for us. Here's someone you can use maybe, and maybe don't refer them if you don't want them to have somebody else that you like. But be aware that as all of us are customers, if I walked in a restaurant and it was rude to everybody, I'm assuming I'm going to get bad service. So just, be kind to each other and really just treat others like you treat yourself.
I've also educated people that I've had to part ways with, because a lot of the times I'm not parting ways because they're just a horrible customer.
Yeah.
I'm parting ways because the expectation of us being a housekeeper versus a cleaning company.
My kids here, why don't you watch them while I'm cleaning her? Wow.
Right. Or, and some people have very specific needs that they need. And unfortunately, you can't always meet that expectation, especially if you have rotating crews, right?
Yeah.
And so you can't always meet what they need. And if it's so important to them and you realize that that's what their that's what their need is, I will be the first to call that customer and say, I want to keep you as a customer, but unfortunately, I know that your expectation is never going to always be met. And so for that reason, I feel like we're not a good fit. But I think instead of hiring a cleaning company, I want to educate you on what a cleaning company does versus a personal housekeeper. And I think when you go searching from here after this, please search for a housekeeper and not a cleaning company, because this way you can always get your need met.
Love that.
Right. And so that way it kind of, and I feel like I do that because I don't want people to leave in the sense that, oh, Katy Maids just left them. Because that's not what it is.
It's just educating.
I want you to have what your expectation is, so that way your need can be met. So hopefully that helps.
I love it. So you have an elevator pitch. Talk to the people who are watching, so we can kind of, why Katy Maids, why y'all, what's the, do your little commercial, if you don't mind, real quick.
So we're a residential and commercial cleaning company, and we're here to help you. We are one call, cleans it all. We do housekeeping. The one thing I didn't want to say. No, we don't do your housekeeping needs. We do all of your cleaning needs. But on top of that, we also do carpet cleaning, exterior window cleaning, power washing, soft washing on the side of your home. And we have just partnered up with Good Clean Function, which is going to be doing all of our professional home organizing. So we hope to bring you on as a customer. We are a Katy Maids family. So you definitely are part of a family once you join us.
Fantastic. And we'll actually have her Facebook page, website page, and anything else that she has on this post when we actually post this. Because this is live, we'll also post it and share it going on too. Anything you want to ask?
I didn't speak because no. And it's, how God tells you today was a day that I want to soak deep.
Yeah.
So that's why when the days you come, and the other ones when I didn't speak, it's like I even said, it's like I came in to soak energy.
That's why I'm here.
And I was like, today was like, my mind was too much energy that I didn't even know what to ask.
You're an incredible person anyways. And I honestly have told people that I'm so blessed to have even met you, because your why is so incredible and so crazy. And just, I pray all the time, and I hope that you just reach everything that you're going to get to.
Thank you.
Well, that's our goal is to help small businesses, but also help anyone. So, in the world that so that's a good segue to what our goal is in 2020, next year,
2022,
whatever the heck it is, is to help 24 businesses as much as possible. We want to have 2 businesses featured every month, starting in January until the end of the year. We want to create a podcast for them. We're creating a digital magazine, a small business support digital magazine that will have a spotlight feature up for the person who's actually on the podcast. We want to create some advertising packages for them. But the ultimate goal is for us to really help in a very affordable way small businesses. And we're always givers. I think all of us, especially entrepreneurs, give more than they receive. So if you give me $1, you're going to get $20 in return. Is just how we do. And I think that that's what this goal is. With podcasting, there's multiple things besides just a video, a little commercial. There's, video streaming commercials. There's, a true infomercial that we can kind of focus on and really give you your 20-minute pitch, to show the world what you do. There's so many things that the digital world offers that we can capitalize on. And this is the kind of stuff that firms charge thousands of dollars to do on a daily basis. But with Jesus and myself, we're doing this to help small businesses. Everything we do would be extremely affordable, but once again, every dollar is going to be $20 worth of value out of it.
Can I ask you why this is important to you?
Well, I would tell you this, as a small business owner, I've gone through this. I worked at Group One for multiple years. I ended up being the marketing director. So I had the corporate world for 15 years in sales and marketing with an unlimited budget to do anything we wanted to. We did sponsorships, nonprofits.
Right.
We just everything. It was nice. So I joined every chamber event, everything, because that was their money, and I just showed up and did stuff. As I transitioned, I decided to leave Lexus. I really wanted to say, what can I do to do what I was able to do with a big firm, but for small businesses?
Okay.
People who don't have the budget, people who don't have the knowledge, people are just out there hustling, plumbers, electricians, massage therapists, realtors, independent business owners. Everyone who says, listen, I got $500, $300, I got $100. What can I do to start? And I was very important. So we searched, me and my business partner searched all over the world about what technologies do these gigantic firms have access to that I actually can now get access to, and then give it to the small businesses for an eighth of what they would charge if they were to call the big firms and say, hey, I want a podcast done. Hey, I want my social media, I want a website done, that these firms charge thousands of dollars, $20, $40, $50,000 to do something that we could do for $500 if I really wanted to.
Right.
And that was my passion. So how many businesses can I help? And that's why whenever I partner with someone, whether you're not, I don't care sometimes. I look at everything that you do. If you hire me for a text marketing campaign, I'm going to look at your website. Yeah. I'm going to look at your social media. I'm going to look at your reviews. I'm going to look at everything. Hey, here's some advice I would give you to do this, this, and this. Because I can't do an effective lead generation if your website's not effective. And I can't promote business to your Facebook page if you haven't posted in 30 days.
Yeah.
I can't. And these are things, if I want, a video is king. So if you don't have a YouTube channel with a small little video about how you're helping, like testimonials, I can't give that to the world. And so my job is to look at everything and say, hey, here's what we're here for. And I don't sell you anything. My job is to provide value for what you need. And I think that's why Jesus and I partnered together, because that's how we kind of partnered. Hey, what do you do? What do I do? Well, I don't do podcasting. So we collaborated. I don't have the skill set, nor the talent, nor the equipment to do what you do. So let's partner together.
You guys should partner with Full Shore Katy Chamber.
And so we would love to find more partnerships. And that's why the goal is for us to find partnerships that are all motivated to ultimately help small business. And that's it.
Yeah, Don McCoy, he's the president of Full Shore Katy Chamber, and he actually was the one person who taught me how to do business spotlight Saturdays on my page. And I started doing that, and I spotlight people that I do business with, or my customers' businesses. Very cool. I didn't even think about that. And when he had told me that, I was like, oh, that's genius. So not only is my customer, but they're also a business that I'm spotlighting and helping. And I can't tell you how many people have thanked me, like, thank you so much for spotlighting my business. And I'm like, no, really, thank you for being my customer.
Yeah.
So it comes with such like dual appreciation.
I think part of it too is like there's something we're starting soon, and it's very simple. But on Facebook, the algorithms need likes, comments, and shares. Mm-hmm. That's free. So yes, you can hire firms to get you likes and advertise, do stuff. But really, if you personally, every business that you've done business with, went to their page, make sure you've already liked their page. And if you were just every time they post, and you don't have to do it every time, but at least once a week, like and comment and share one of their posts, you don't realize how much that impacts their business, because Facebook says, okay, if 30 people like that post, that's something of value. So this business is now shown more often to the Facebook ecosystem. And if you look at the average Facebook interaction is less than 1%. If you go to any Facebook page, you got 5,000 people, 6,000 fans. You go look at all their pages, you're going to have 5 likes, 6 likes, 2 comments. And typically it's their employees or their husbands or their wives.
Yeah.
It's not really the fan base. So if you had one post that had 20 shares, you'd be amazed what that does to the business. That's how you can support. I think on Facebook, they always talk about how you support business for free, like, share, comment. That is true. If y'all started doing that today, for the businesses that you want, they would not go out of business.
Right.
And that's true because Facebook and all these social media, no matter the bad or good about them, they're still a tool. And business owners have to capitalize on that tool. And that's one thing. In podcasting, it is can be one of the most powerful things you can do if it's done correctly with a small advertising budget and really focused and done consistently. I think about marketing sales, you have to do a campaign for months, not a week and say, oh, well, that wasn't worth it.
Right.
You have to be consistent. So podcasting, the same thing. Jesus can come up with a series, like a 5-video series over 5 months that you come up, and then what happens is you're creating content, because you heard the term content is king.
Yeah.
That's it.
Huge.
And it's really important doing customer testimonials, why your business is different, why you're helping the community, a nonprofit that you support, bringing them in and showing that connectivity. There's so many things you can do that big firms do every day and charge a fortune, but we're here to do it really because we are your friends in the business. And so that's it's my passion, like his.
I love that.
It's just helping.
My nonprofit that I'm actually a board member for, and I
was going to ask you, but I didn't.
No, it's okay. So my nonprofit is Katy Cares, and I actually
like Portland Cares.
Katy Cares,
no. But it's like for
Portland
kids.
Cares,
Okay,
yes. So Katy Cares is for women who come from traumatic situations, whether it's an abusive relationship or addiction or what it may be, and a woman who's a mom who needs somewhere to stay, they need counseling, they need help, they need food, they need clothes, whatever it may be.
Wow.
And so I was going to open my ex and I that I spoke of earlier.
Sorry about that.
We've always had a really great relationship when it comes to like business ideas and really kind of making stuff great. And we were going to start a nonprofit together. And as we were we were going to do Katy Maids Cares. Well, as we went to start researching and searching, there was already Katy Cares. And so I'm now the brand ambassador for them, and I'm on the board. And I can't tell you, there's tons of nonprofits in Katy. This is the only one that I've seen that actually has a curriculum for therapy. That doesn't just help the mom, because some of these moms don't even know a parenting skill, or maybe they don't. Sorry. Or maybe they don't know how to deal with behavioral issues from their kids, from the trauma that they went through. And then there's a whole curriculum for kids, a therapy for kids. And I just, I don't know, my heart just really went out, and I enjoy everything that we do. We have our first annual golf tournament that's coming up in March. Katy Maids does, and all the proceeds are going to Katy Cares. We have an axe throwing tournament in December, and the same thing, all the proceeds are going there. So if you have any canned products or cereal or extra toothbrushes that are still in packages, obviously, or things just that aren't open that you're not using, please reach out to me on my Facebook or just call my office.
We'll put that information on
and
there.
We'll come to you and pick it up. So.
And I would like to so part of this kind of leads into a conversation we weren't going to have yet, but part of our goal as this Jesus, myself, and 3 other businesses, and now maybe you, we're focused on providing our services to nonprofits for free.
Yeah.
Doing what we can, whether it's podcasts, social media, cleaning, whatever it is, right, to help in any way we can. And not only that, but to utilize them as a resource. So any client says, hey, I want to hire you and pay you money, that we donate back toward that nonprofit.
So Katy
I
Maids
did that with Group 1. It's very powerful.
It's so powerful when you come in together, because you're doing it for a good cause. I don't tell a lot of people this, but I can tell you guys, Katy Maids has given $5,700 in free cleanings this past year.
Wow.
And I didn't even realize the number. I just was doing.
Yeah.
And my CPA was like, do we know that we're giving away $5,700? And I said, absolutely. And I'll keep going. And it was, there's been elderly people that we've went in and helped. There's been moms that our families. I had a family who had just lost their husband. I also will once a quarter ask people to nominate someone.
That's awesome.
And so we've had teachers who've, had medical issues where they just wasn't a good situation, where we've gone in, and there's nothing better than those moments.
Oh, I know. And I would tell you that walking into a clean house is the lack of clutter, the clean environment is a mental release. Right. It is mental health 100%.
Huge.
And I know that for a fact. And so that's why I think what you're doing is amazing. And so Katy Cares, we'll also put that website on the post.
I love my nonprofit.
And hopefully that's one of the nonprofits we partner with, and we kind of create, because we want to really, I had 22 in 22, which is helping 22 nonprofits, part of our initiative. So as we have a small business support network, we want to create a small business, nonprofit network support system as well.
I would love that. I would love to be a part of that.
Awesome. Well, you're there. You're part of that now.
Good.
So thank you so much. And definitely please, 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 whenever you watch this, I don't know if you can watch it now. When you watch this, please share this. Please post, comment, do what you can, because we don't charge for this at this point in time, which is going to change, but we need exposure. We need to make sure people know about the businesses that we have on here. And the way that works is by you sharing this when you see it.
Absolutely.
It's a very simple thing. Just share it, and you realize how much that could help. How much it could help the nonprofit, how much it could help the businesses, how much it could help anyone around. So
not only that, if you're a business owner and you maybe have a tip that I don't know, comment and share it. Like, share it and comment what your business tip is, because I would love to hear it. I would love to see it. I would love, maybe I'm doing something and I really want that one tip, and maybe that could help me get to a better level. And I would love to kind of have that feedback.
Look at that, already taking a look.
I
love that, because it's about that. Can you imagine a forum of 20 or 30 business owners all talking together?
Yeah.
And then also 20 or 30 nonprofits talking together.
Yeah.
To a community saying, hey guys, we're here to help. What can we do? And I think that's where I honestly think God's leading this functionality, because we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
We just I want to do a podcast. I do digital marketing. Hey, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's start this.
Like you said, all in. Let's go.
All in.
All in. 100%. Thank you so much, Jesus, the quiet man. I know hope you absorbed some stuff.
So much.
And I look forward to learning more about the Katy Cares and sharing your stuff. And then just now we have a relationship. We're going to build it stronger.
Let's do it.
I love a Kinder Scott earrings too.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
My favorite.
And we'll definitely see you in the next episode, because we still got 2 more before we start doing our own.
So we have 2 more this month, and then we're gonna maybe do 1 or 2 in December, getting ready for January. But December is gonna be kind of us talking about. I'll go over maybe Google My Business changes that's happening. We'll talk about the metaverse, the crazy stuff that I actually don't know if I'm gonna really like, because I like living in the real world personally. But anyway,
yeah, me too.
That's it. But as a marketing agency, as a business, you have to be aware of what's going on. I may actually touch on NFTs. Talk about a little bit about that digital world and why it's important for businesses.
Okay.
So we're gonna, not gonna promote or endorse. I'm just saying, here's what you need to be aware of, so you can find opportunities as a creator, content creator, artist, musician, to capitalize on things like that. So we're gonna talk about that kind of stuff in December, and just really kind of just give. And then also, if you have any questions, we always ask, please share, comment. Hey, I've got a question about this, so we can kind of help build this up. And once again, we're looking for 22 nonprofits in 22. We've got about 5 or 6, I think we've already going to be partnering with, and this is probably one of them. But feel free to add them, direct message us, let us know if you have a nonprofit that you want us to help. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.